sad day for Theresa May. Oh, sad, sad day for Theresa May. I've done this video before, but I want to do a shorter version of this video to make it more accessible and just give the basic details of it. Ultimately, today was a historic day. It was historic on two counts. On one count, there was a BREXIT vote, the withdrawal agreement, the vote that Parliament was going to get on the withdrawal agreement. So, in and of itself, the vote was historic. But in the modern era, at least going back to the 1920s, never before has a government lost to such a degree. A brutal, brutal failure where the government completely loses a vote by, what, 202 to 432. The ayes were 202, the nays were 432. It was a colossal defeat. Jeremy Corbyn called it a catastrophic loss for Theresa May's government. She knew she was going to lose by somewhat of a significant margin going back last month, but the hope was that she could get some concessions from the European Union, who they told her no, in public and overt terms, no, in which case the deal that she brought back to Parliament was essentially the same deal that she was going to lose colossally on early in December. So this was brutal. I'm going to show you the vote itself, and I'm going to give part of Theresa May's response. I've done her part of her response in another video, so I kind of want to just keep this to the bare bones basic. But nevertheless, let's show them coming together for the vote. I like Burkow. Let's hear him do his thing. Here we are.
Order.
Order.
The ayes to the right, 202. The noes to the left, 432.
The ayes to the right, 202. The noes, order. The ayes to the right, 202. The noes to the left, 432. So the noes have it. The noes have it. Unlock. On a point of order. The Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the House has spoken and the government will listen. It is clear that the House does not support this deal, but tonight's vote tells us nothing about what it does support. Nothing about how or even if it intends to honour the decision the British people took in a referendum Parliament decided to hold. And people, particularly EU citizens who've made their home here, and UK citizens living in the EU, deserve clarity on these questions as soon as possible.
To be fair to Theresa May, she kind of has a point here. I mean, ultimately, she's the government, and she's head of the government, and the party themselves, or the government, is going to make a decision on what they want to do and how they want to carry out Brexit. That said, her main argument that she pushes back with Jeremy Corbyn on is, you're not telling me what you want to do. Now, she wants to do this because she wants to have some level of opposition to which to fight against, as opposed to having her bill being the only thing out there that people can attack with nothing necessarily to compare it to. It's like, you know, you're attacking me with some ephemeral standard that doesn't necessarily exist. But nevertheless, this was a major loss for her. Let me show a part of Jeremy Corbyn's response.
Voted to what the House.
Point of order, the Leader of the Opposition,
Right,
Jeremy
so
Corbyn.
right here, let's show a little bit of Jeremy Corbyn's response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The results of tonight's vote is the greatest defeat for a government since the 1920s in this House. This is a catastrophic defeat for this government. After 2 years of failed negotiations, the House of Commons has delivered its verdict on her Brexit deal, and that verdict is absolutely decisive. I hear the words of the Prime Minister, but actions of her government are the power.
I did a longer video on Corbyn, so I'm not going to do this one. The other video can be referenced. Ultimately, Corbyn here calls for no confidence in the Prime Minister. Now, he was too scared to bring this up before, but he's doing it now after such a catastrophic defeat. A no confidence vote, what it boils down to is if Parliament itself comes out and says we don't have confidence in Her Majesty's government, in this particular government, then they would get 14 days in order to come up with, see if there could be some resolution to this, meaning if anybody can come up with a government, and if no government can be found, they call for election. That's what Corbyn wants, and ultimately whatever the Prime Minister came back with, they were going to vote against because they wanted to create somewhat of a crisis situation for the government in order to create a potential new election. The catch for this is he would need the DUP to drop support to Theresa May, and up to this point it doesn't look like the DUP is going to do that unless Jeremy Corbyn knows something that we don't through back channels. Immediately after this vote, an odd thing happened. Theresa May apparently went outside broken and shattered by the experience of what has just taken place. I mean, losing this historic defeat. And she found the first Negroes she could find. And I don't mean that decisively, you know, as African American, I can say that. And she danced. She danced joyously. Ache and pain and dance, 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 dance. Do it, do it, do it. Let it out. Let it out. Let all that pain out. Oh, when you lose a Brexit vote by historic margins, what do? You dance. If you're Theresa May, you dance. That's what you do. If you Theresa May and you lose a Brexit vote by historic margins, you go out and find the first black person you can and you just dance. You just do it up. You just do it up. I don't blame her. This was a hard day. And sometimes you got to get that stuff out of your system on hard days. Theresa May loses historic proportions. I'm going to put the video at the bottom so you can see for yourself, not the dancing. That was done in private, even though it was caught on video. No, I'm talking about the Brexit vote itself. So, thanks all. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks all.